I don't know how to even begin explaining what's basically the worst social mess I've ever been a part of, and I blame it all on this subreddit. This happened 3 days ago, and I'm still kind of riding the high and the panic at the same time. I've been job hunting, but casually. Just a few applications here and there when I feel like maybe I should be an adult and not live off iced coffee and freelance invoices that say net 15 but never get paid. I applied to a handful of admin assistant roles. Mostly boring stuff, remote preferred. One of them was through a company called Westridge Admin. I didn't remember much about it, just that the description said flexible schedule and health benefits. A couple days later, I got an interview request. The email said Westridge and gave me a time, an address, and a contact name. No red flags. I accepted and marked it in my calendar. The day of the interview, I showed up early. I wore a black blazer, clean jeans, and boots that make me feel like I have my life together. The office was in one of those glass and steel mid-rise buildings downtown. I walked in, gave my name at the front desk, and they told me to head to the 4th floor. I get off the elevator and walk into a really sleek lobby area. Leather chairs, minimalist furniture. A woman behind a marble desk nods and tells me someone will be with me shortly. The guy sitting next to me is in a full suit. No tie, but definitely business. He's holding a leather folio and reviewing what looks like printed spreadsheets. I start sweating. I pull up the job listing on my phone to make sure I didn't accidentally apply to some finance role. The listing is gone. The company website just has a logo and a contact us page. Before I can spiral further, a woman steps out and calls my name. I stand. She gives me a firm handshake and says, "So nice to finally meet you in person. We really liked your take on streamlining onboarding for remote teams." I freeze for half a second. I didn't write anything like that. But my body smiles and says, "Thank you, I really appreciate that." She leads me into a glass-walled office. There's a pitcher of water on the table and a branded notepad with the name Westridge Partners across the top. That's when it clicks. Westridge Admin Company was the job I applied to. Westridge Partners is where I am now. Different company, different floor, same building, but I'm already in the interview. She starts asking me questions about project management and remote team structure. I say things like adaptable workflow models and clear communication channels. I reference a team I worked with last year on a freelance basis and exaggerate just enough to sound impressive. She nods a lot and writes things down. Then she says, "Our CTO really liked your application. He wants to meet you if you're free to stay a little longer." I say sure. 10 minutes later, a guy walks in wearing sneakers and a button-up. He greets me by name and offers coffee. I say yes, even though my hands are already shaking. He hands me an espresso and sits down like we're continuing a conversation we never started. He says, "I really liked your thoughts on internal tooling. How would you approach integration during a transition phase?" I stall for half a second, then start talking about onboarding audits, documentation gaps, and real-time support systems. I don't know if I blacked out or channeled the ghost of someone more qualified, but by the end of it, he's smiling. He says, "You're the first person we've talked to who actually gets it." I leave the building 20 minutes later, sweating through my blazer and clutching a folder they gave me with onboarding info. I check the email again. The interview request was sent from someone at westridgepartners.com. I never applied there. I must have clicked something weird or sent a resume to a third-party recruiter and the wires got crossed. Today I got a follow-up email saying they'd like to invite me to a panel interview on Zoom next week. 4 people, 60 minutes. I still don't know exactly what the role is. I'm afraid to ask. I'm afraid if I do, they'll realize the mistake. But also, I kind of want to see how far this can go. If I get hired, I'm framing the email.